Let's wait for 1 more minute before start. Let's see if Brandy is joining. Okay, I just pinned him and he's on PTO, so we'll start. Let's look at the agenda. First item is the update on ModelPack CNCF checklist. I believe those. Let me see. Matthew, you have an item, right? Could you update?
Yeah, so last time we created the badge. Frankly speaking, I don't have any specific update for this week. I'm planning to continue follow up on the updating on the badge. That is one of the items that we will need to keep progressing on it. But in general, also, if there is anybody that wants to contribute and collaborate on it, just let me know, and we can organize to split the work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. As for the logo, I see the issue is still there, and brand should have been. I think brand has updated and they submitted the logo requirements to CNCF, and we can confirm with him on the step. And also, in that case, there's no security. I haven't seen the security markdown file PR yet, so we'll wait on that unless someone wants to work on it. But we can wait for Brian to come back for sure. And also, we there's an issue that there's an item that we circle back to the raw media type discussion. Now that and since Emily is also here, so Emily, do you have any opinion from Docker side? Because that's what GGOF is doing, no compression at all, right? So what do you think of the raw media type?
Sorry, I'm catching up. What's the specific question about the media type here?
Let me paste the link here. We used to have not used to. We currently have a raw media type for uncompressed weights.
Yeah,
actually, and the folks are discussing just dropping it or rename it to different or rename it to different media types. But
like maybe we could come up with a combined media type that we could use on. You're trying to rename the raw ones. That's the question.
Yeah, there's the PR then tries to just remove the raw suffix, but it's still a raw media type. And so, what's your opinion on this? do you see raw and the actual media type similar to tar, gzip, or do you prefer to have a unnamed one?
My preference would be sort of similar to what we've been doing on the Docker side, where you don't have to say raw specifically, but the media type describes the file format of the raw file, if that makes sense. Like whether it's a GGUF or a safe tensors format. Because thinking about, what the media types really mean, I think that's what makes the most sense. Like GGUF isn't more raw than a JSON file or a tar. It's just in this context where you expect a tar that raw makes sense. But I think describing like what format the contents of the file are in, if it's not a tar, then it has some sort of format, and having that in the media type is the most useful thing from our perspective. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, in that case, we should have a list of types that's defined properly in the spec, right? Okay, that also makes sense given now GGOF and safe tensor and Pico mostly these three are the most common ones used in the AI industry. And there might be some binary formats, the bin format, but generally, we can narrow down a few items of this and have it defined. So what do others think?
If I may interject here, I think that this was discussed in some previous meetings, and indeed is like I think that the consensus was that just specifying a row was not any helpful, because as also sort of like Emily is pointing out, is like if you add the thing that is a tar or things is like, then you can say okay, then the file format that is internal to the compression, and sort of like adding the information about the compression or the way that is archived, it's meaningful. I think that somehow the discussion specifically for the raw in ModelPack was that it didn't add any specific value, and indeed in other scenario, in other media types, simply you indicate the model weights. I think then specifying the format though, instead of just dropping the raw, may get into, and I think that we discussed about it, may get in some over specification, meaning that you will need to specify GGUF, safe tensor, and so on. And these for the model layers, then you would have to do like if it is a markdown, XML, YAML, whatever for the configuration files and so on. While I think that the comment that we receive on the raw media type is that the format, in the case that is not compressed, is indicated by the title, because when we set the media type to the one that is just the layer without the row suffix, sort of like, then you have the title to know which file does this one represent, and then for the name of the file will tell you about the file format without having to re-specify that as well in the media type. I think this was the context that we had for PR82, but maybe it's, I think that we can table this discussion for when also Brad and the folks from Joe's team also will be available in a meeting, so that we can sort of like rewire the thing that we discussed in the previous meetings and see. The only thing that I done is just I resolved the conflict on the PR, so that we are free to act on it whenever we wanted. There is no pressure to merge it today or tomorrow. let's just table this discussion for the next available meetings so that we can have from Brad, Gorkem, and Eddie, Angelo, and the others also to recollect exactly what was discussed in the previous meetings. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that. And just to be clear that we do have a format string in the config.json, and then explicitly see if the weights are in format of Onyx, SafeTensor, GGF, or PyTorch. So even if that's what you are looking for, we already support it.
Yeah, as long as there's other ways to do it. I don't need that information to be in the media type.
Yeah, for the media type, we can keep it agnostic. At least it seems, yeah. So we can postpone this to broader audience next time, so we make a decision. That's okay. Yeah. And the next one is, can we provide a Python API?
Yeah, I think the other developer in the Kuaishou company created the Python tools, include the pull and the push by the ModelPack. So before that, I think we have three important things. The first, we need to create the repo and store the Python SDK. The second, I think we need to generate the Python code and the Golang code based on the schema, JSON schema. And the third, just like the model tools will import the model spec.
Okay,
So
just to be clear, are you proposing a Python tool similar to the Golang tool, model control, the Golang tool, or are you proposing just an API layer written in Python to pass a manifest or etc.?
I think it's a Python tools, just like the image tools.
Okay.
There are two issues here. From Qi Wenbo, he proposed tools, and from me, I propose to provide API layer. I think two issues here. Two different issues.
Yeah, the first thing.
Okay.
I think the first thing is the generate the Python code based on the JSON schema. Yeah. The second is
Yes. For the Python API, I believe we can have it just like the Go API in the model spec repository. And for the Python tools, we need a separate repository, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we can also highlight that there was some, I don't know if this Cormic Knee is in the call, but there was also a similar proposal raised to Aura Spy project to consume, because after all, being an OCI artifact, I see that they wanted to integrate. So I think that there are indeed like three ideas floating around. But in general, I also agree with Ben. Sounds to me like maybe general API layer can be hosted in the model spec repo, like alongside the Go API. And then sort of like if any tooling then can be in a separate, possibly can be in a separate repo. It will be good, in my opinion, if both for the Python API and the Python tooling, they can describe more about the use cases that are presented. Because, for example, for the Python API, in that specific case, is maybe not fully understand what is will be the scope for this API, if it is exactly the same as the Go API, or if there is any specific need because it's already integrated in other project, and so on. For example, I can tell you that based on the spec, I'm integrating a ModelPack as part of one of the other tools that we have in containers.org. So that as we produce already some container image with Python, I'm currently working to implement the ModelPack there directly in the tool. So if there is a Python API that I can reuse, of course, depending on what is the scope for this Python API, I will be happy to incorporate it. Thank you.
I think for the Python API, it's likely just the Go spec one. Zoltan, is it?
Yeah. Because I found other Python projects, they want to reference our ModelPack. For the media type, for example, the media type, the annotations, something like that. So we need to provide the Python bindings, maybe I can call it. So they can easily integrate our ModelPack project to their project.
Yes, first I think we need to create the JSON schema about the annotation and the media type, and use the JSON schema to generate the Python code.
So
I
you think,
think, yeah, I
you
think
think,
I think now we just have the config JSON schema.
yes, do you mean that you want to that the schema will be the single ground truth? Currently, it's the config markdown file be the ground truth. We just modify the JSON schema to align with the config markdown. I think what you are trying to describe is that in the next step, we will change to the JSON schema as the ground truth, so we can generate different APIs like Go or Python from the schema, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the existing specs dash Go, we need Python dash Go. And Wang Xudong talked. What Wang Xudong talked is the second step. Yeah. First, we need to make a gray that we need to provide this Python dash spec spec dash Python. Sorry.
I think we can continue discuss in the Slack channel because there is a dedicated thread for this discussion.
Yeah, we can move it to the Slack channel. And as for the Python tools, do we plan to build one in our repository? Matteo, you mentioned that you have a similar functionality somewhere.
Yeah, at least for my case, it's a project that already deals with the OCI manifest. So the only thing that I'm referring to right now is just uh, the markdown files, because the only thing that I need and the JSON schema for the config, because most of the other of the thing is like the how to generate OCI image manifest and OCI image index and so on. This is already done through the tooling that that I have in pure Python. So the in my case, I don't need like a tooling, because it's already part of the scope for the tooling that I'm building. So I'm just referring to the markdown file of the spec and to the open API schema, JSON schema, sorry, JSON schema file for the config. So that those are the two things that I'm referring to model spec for my work. But other project may vary, and sort of like I think that discussing this in the Slack channel or summarizing the proposal in details in the GitHub issue, it will be the way to go, because this way you can make a better assessment.
Yeah, I think the proposal from Wenbo Qi was actually brought from Kuaishou, which is Chinese local TikTok company, the second largest one in China, and they have their, for example, they can have their inference engines that integrate with this. It might be similar to your project, but I, in my opinion, the requirement, the needs is the need for tool is actually there, and we can look into how to provide it. Yeah.
I agree, because also some other environments like a data scientist may not
Yeah.
have to install a binary. They will be happy with some Python-based tooling. So I fully agree.
Yes. Yeah. So for the Python tooling, we can also have a GitHub issue and discuss it. I think there's someone mentioning ORS PY as well, so we can have a concrete solution. Is it okay?
Yes.
Also, my suggestion to discuss it sort of like, of course, like using Slack, it's good. But the only reason why I suggest that to make the proposal details at a certain point, transfer it into, or sort of like consolidating GitHub issue, is that if I remember correctly, Slack CNCF will move to the free tier shortly. So it means that in sometimes a message will not be permanent. It's like only the history of the last 3 months or so will remain.
Yeah.
So it's good to discuss in sense as Slack, but once anybody has a good proposal, is good to, in my view, to stick it into the GitHub issue.
Okay. Okay, looks like we've covered all the agenda items. Are there other issues folks want to talk about?
Yes, I was blocked by the sneak integration because the CNCF member that asked me to submit the maintainers list to an email box, but yes, but I'm not sure I'm the right person or proper person to do this.
Yeah, I remember this. Actually, I proposed to invite you to be a maintainer, but since we don't have enough maintainers in this call, let me convert this to an issue and make it a vote. Maybe I'm not sure if we have a process for this, but we can at least get some feedback from folks from existing maintainers, and then we can do it. In the meantime, let me help with the maintainer list submission tomorrow. I'll contact you on Slack for this, so we can do it in parallel. Is it okay?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And sorry for blocking you for almost 2 weeks.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, with that, so are there any other topics? And then we'll give back 28 minutes to everyone, and thank you for attending the meeting. Have a nice day. Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.